Good evening, Islander fans from Bridgeport and Long Island. Welcome to a Bridgeport Islander season preview, sort of, from here on Isles Talk. I'm one of your hosts this evening. My name is Paul Kreischer. Joining me this evening, John Panarese, my favorite one of the two. How are you, John?
Oh, you suck.
Oh, did John freeze up? Oh, there goes that joke. Crap.
I think he did.
Come back,
John
John.
froze. Oh boy, that's not good.
Ah, that's karma. Crap.
Now it means you got to talk to me.
John, you with us now?
Yes.
There we go, John.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Also joining us this evening, the godfather of Islander social media, all thing bloggers,
No,
Gary
Meredith.
Gary
Meredith
Harding.
is good enough.
Yeah. And I can't believe I'm doing this. I don't want to do it, but I have to do it. I lost the bet, ladies and gentlemen. He's here. The one, the only, one of the godfathers of the Drive for Five Facebook group. Are you really eating and taking orders while we're live? There's an echo of me.
Yes.
Turn me off there, Brush. Turn the volume off that much.
How do I do this? Just turn up the mic?
Yeah. Well, yeah, now that the fact that we can't hear you. Oh, why do I have the echo?
All right, I'll be
Maybe
back.
check your head. You come in clear, Paul.
No, I hear his echo too. I was
So
hearing.
you
it
do. I
before.
don't at all.
Now I don't.
Yeah, it's because I'm not talking. Okay, maybe it was Brush's fault. Yeah. Anyway, lost the bet. Brush is going to be here any moment. Let's try that again. We'll be welcoming Brian Kiley on to the show here. We are talking Bridgeport Islanders, kind of a season preview, and we'll be working with the same theme for the New York Islanders this year that we're looking at, like the 1999-2000 Devils. So bear with you. All right, you guys hear me all right?
Yeah.
Okay, beautiful.
Yeah, you're fine.
Okay.
I hope this is gonna work.
Me too.
Yes.
Okay. So far.
So far, so good.
Okay. So far, so good. So
You might
having
break the
said that,
camera, but it's okay.
moving forward, we have that one move today by the Islanders. And I hear that going again. Okay.
Yeah.
Kiefer Bellows. Claimed off of waivers by the Philadelphia Flyers. And Gary, give me your thoughts on Kiefer being claimed by the Flyers, his development. Are you really surprised he got claimed?
I'm not actually. A lot of people were saying they were going to get through the waiver wire, and then, maybe a deal might come into play. But I mean, you got the situation in Philadelphia now. You got Cam Atkinson out long term. Van Riemsdyk just had surgery on his finger today or yesterday, and he's going to be out probably another 4 to 6 weeks. So as we were talking before we came on the air, this is going to be his one real big shot. I mean, the fact that, a lot of other teams, I think, that have glaring needs didn't go after him, speaks volumes. He's had every chance possible. And, he just hasn't seemed to, whether it's, the system or whether it's him personally, I don't know. But it's going to be this is a big opportunity for him. He's 24 years old. He's not a kid now. He's been up and down the last 4 years. So, is he going to be this kid that can maybe take another step forward, or is he going to be, as we talked before going on air, is he going to be the next Austin Czarnik story? A guy that's, made the NHL, but just doesn't have the wherewithal to move up a level. And will he be that person? And that's a shame, when you see a first round talent go through these struggles. And, I wish him well, except when he plays for us. And of course, everybody on social media was saying, "Oh, he's going to go crazy. He's going to go nuts when the Islanders play." Oh, please.
I don't think so.
John, give me your opinion. What's up?
I think he does deserve a chance somewhere, but my feeling is under Tortorella's system. I just don't know if he's going to do any better than he did under Trotz. He's kind of a Tortorella's a kind of a he's a very tough disciplinarian. So I don't know if Bellows is going to do any better.
Yeah, I Tortorella, Trotz, they're kind of like the same. So for me, it's one of those situations where, I had followed his development, and for me, I don't think he had enough games in Bridgeport specifically. I think for me, Bellows is going to be a victim of COVID and the lack of games that he actually had. I mean, yeah, practicing with the team for 2 years is great, especially in the bubble. But if you're not playing a lot of games, and when he's in the NHL, you're only playing like 7 minutes a game. I don't want to say the Islanders ruined it, but COVID certainly, and I think we're going to see this amongst the rest of the league at some point, where COVID is going to have a severe impact on some of these players trying to make it to the NHL, and they may just not have enough time or seasoning to get their games in, or they could be that quote late bloomer at some point. Maybe they do sign with other clubs. Maybe they do become a Matt Molson, where they just spent so much time in the minors and then they finally get their shot, and then lo and behold, they're finally ready. So I think because of COVID, I think a lot of that 2016, that draft year moving forward, I think that's going to get redrafted a couple of times moving forward. But for me, Bellows going to the Flyers, we don't have a lot of expectations for the Flyers this year. So, maybe this will be a good opportunity for him. Do we think the Flyers could end up being a bottom 5 team to end the season? Maybe, but again, that's going to get you, at least some playing time to see where you are, if you can even handle the NHL. And Mark just brought up this great point right here. 1.2 million off the books. Here's something right now. Oh. Here's something right now. The Islanders have roughly 4.1 million in cap space, and Robin Salo was not called up yet. Something's going on. I don't know what it is. But if we have to stick with that thing from the 2000 Devils, maybe the Islanders make a trade sooner rather than later. Don't know who they're going to go for yet. But there's a lot of cap space for Lou not to do something even right now. So let's wait and see. And Brush, we're going to get your comments. What do you think of Kiefer Bellows being waived?
It's a little interesting because there was a couple of the players that could have been waived or that could have been tried to be sent down to Bridgeport. It's obviously a numbers game. There is a use for Johnson, why he wasn't. I believe the Islanders I can't pronounce the Russian guy's name, but you know exactly who I'm talking about, and I still believe that the Islanders believe in him. It looks like Bellows was the odd man out. They took a chance. There's reasons why like you said, that why Philly is taking a chance on him. It's a low risk. it would have been nice to see him get unclaimed and go down to Bridgeport. I believe if he went down to Bridgeport, he probably would have been playing on probably the top line, which he would have had top line minutes down there. He probably would have tore it up down in Bridgeport. He's done it before. It's just an unfortunate situation. It's a risk that the Islanders took, and he got claimed. And now it's time for him to play. He's going to get the minutes in Philly, and I'm very curious to see how he plays there.
Yeah, so am I. I wish him all the best. I'd like to see him do quite well in Philly, but we had all talked about this before. Kiefer Bellows could absolutely be the next Austin Czarnik this year. When JVR comes back, there's no spot for Kiefer Bellows. So he literally has a limited amount of games to show that he can still play. And if he doesn't, he may be placed on waivers again. And who knows? Maybe the Islanders pick him up from there. But I think the Islanders have something else going on. We just don't know what it is yet. So moving on, this is a special Bridgeport Islanders season preview. And this is one of the reasons why I bring Brian on to the show. Brian and I have been going to games now for years. Brian was a season ticket holder recently. A lot of our conversations are basically Bridgeport Sound. Oh, I did it. Bridgeport Sounds Hiker. I knew I was going to mess that up. Bridgeport Islanders related. So we're going to get into the theme of the Islanders here in Bridgeport, how far we think they can go. We're going to talk about a couple of those players and sticking with that 2000 Devils theme. And I'm going to throw in the 2002. I'm going to throw in the 2002 Islanders. Where the Islanders brought up Trent Hunter, where he came in for the 2002 playoffs against the Toronto Maple Leafs. And he had a very big impact. Islander fans didn't know who he was until then. He had a great season in Bridgeport in their inaugural season. They went all the way up to the Calder Cup finals. And me personally, and I think Brian Brush, whoever you want to call him, agrees that there could be a potential Trent Hunter player down in Bridgeport who could make an impact for the Islanders on Long Island if they make it to the playoffs. So, Brush, real quick. This is supposed to be a really good team this year.
Oh, yes.
For those of you who don't know, the AHL season is about 72 games. This is a team that could very well do 85 to 90 points. Who do you think stands in Bridgeport's way in the playoffs? Let's say they make it. Well, first off, do you think they can make it?
Oh, absolutely, they can make it with the team that they have and everything, with some of the young prospects that actually are playing their first year as pros. Very good potential with the mix of veterans that they brought back from last year. And a couple that they did bring up, that they did pick up this year too. It's a mix and match and everything, and I just expect them to make an extra step this year in the playoffs. They got the same goalies, and they're off to a good start right now. They're 4-1. Anything is possible. So I expect them to go farther this year, and I expect them, once again, it's another step in the right direction.
Goaltending looks solid. I think you and I were both a little surprised that Corey Schneider came back. Jakub Skarek has a lot to prove this year. But there are two players at this point, if we're going to put them in a Trent Hunter category here, Simon Holmstrom and Samuel Bolduc. We've been watching them now. Even Gary, you've been watching them. These are two kids right now who have had a lot of seasoning at this point. Each year is different. One year's been working on offense. The other one's been working on defense. And then this is like year 3 or 4, where for these two players specifically, everything is coming together. and we get to see the entire package. Who are you most excited to see out of those two?
I mean,
really
two different positions here. So
Yeah.
I'm anxious. I'm definitely looking forward to see Bolduc. 5 points so far in 5 games, 1 goal and 4 assists. You know, he's heading in the right direction, right step and everything like that. And I just expect improvement with him. Let's talk about Simon Holmstrom. He had probably the best year of his career last year. He stepped it up in the playoffs with important goals at right times at right places. He's got 2 goals and 1 assist in 5 games right now. I just expect, things are going to keep going good with him too. But once again, 2 different positions, but those are 2 players that I'm actually expected to see jump again this year. And my honest opinion with Simon Holmstrom, if there is a player that goes down with the Islanders, why not bring him up?
Gary, give me your thoughts real quick.
Well, just looking at Bolduc over the last couple of years. I mean, right now, you look like as Brush said, 5 points in 5 games. He had 7 points in 57 games last year. I mean, you tell right away his impact. I mean, you can't, guys like this, 6'4", 225, 230 pounds, and he doesn't skate like he's got stone legs. He's got decent speed. He's got obviously bruising power, and a great slap shot, as we've seen, and Brush can definitely contest to that. I really like this. I mean, we know of the troubles the big club is having holding on to that 6th defenseman, and to be very honest, I think it's only a holding pattern until Samuel Bolduc arrives. He's 20. He's going to be 22 in about a month and a half. So the sky is the limit for this kid, and the way he's starting, I get more and more excited about this, and watching him grow. Again, I can absolutely echo what Brian said about Holmstrom too. I mean, I remember when I first saw him come up, and you could see how raw this kid was, and they said it was going to take a long period of time, and most people on the boards were all like, "Oh, this is not fair. He's a first-round pick. He should be coming up faster. He should whatever." But everybody said, just let him develop. Let him get used to the North American game. He's gonna be an impact kid. Remember, that draft, wasn't he physically the youngest kid drafted that year? Yeah, he was the youngest. I don't want to say child, but when you think about it, he was.
Yeah.
So he's now 21. He's now got, the chops here, and you can see it. You could see the confidence growing and growing out of this kid. And again, we haven't been able to say this in a long time, Paul. You and I, we've had tons of conversations about this. It's the first time in a long, long time that we could be excited about the Bridgeport franchise. It's not just a holding pattern. There's kids that are developing, and you got even more coming up. Ishkikov is having a great start. Dufour is having a decent start. Even Ratu he's not even on the scoring sheet, but he's making people know he's out there. And we haven't said that. Maybe in 15 years we haven't really said that with this organization. And it's a lot to get excited about. I'm enjoying, on the weekends when I'm home, if I'm not watching at our Islander games, checking out Bridgeport playing, and I think that's great.
Brush, let's do that quick segue into Dufour and Ratu. For me, those two, they don't look out of place, but they look like they could still use a little more conditioning, especially for a 72 game schedule that they're not used to yet.
Yes, I totally agree and everything. Is that it's all about being patient. It's all about the development and doing it slowly for these players. I also believe too, from what I've seen with some of the games, because I remember that especially that one game in Providence where Bridgeport won that game in overtime. You had a 2-on-1 breakaway, and Ratte, beautiful pass over to Dufour, winning goal. I believe that Thompson down in Bridgeport is going to have those two play on the same line. And once again, it's early, but you get the group going and everything. The development's going to happen. Just there's no need to rush these plays up.
No, especially those two. And yes, it is spelled Raty. It is pronounced Ratu. That's exactly it, Matt. So that's how it's done. Yes, Ratu. So I really love Dufour's shot. I think even if it came down to it, I think Dufour in a game 6 or game 7 in an Islander playoff series, you need a lethal shot, you bring up Dufour. Other than that, I don't know why you would bring him up. Obviously, it's early, but you have to see how Ratu and Dufour play in a long, season. So the conditioning is going to be very important for these kids. Learning the pace, learning the professional style, and our opinions, and I can probably speak for all of us right here, don't rush Ratu, don't rush Dufour, especially in the first half. They're probably learning stuff right now that, we weren't expecting them to learn. And for me, and probably like everybody else here, you want them to be ready for the playoffs, whether it's in Bridgeport or whether it's on Long Island. You want them ready to go. Again, I'm not too worried about Dufour or Ratu skill-wise. That'll obviously improve during the season, but conditioning, you really want them ready for the playoffs. So, Gary, give me your thoughts. Dufour and Ratu.
Again, as I said earlier, I think Dufour has a little bit more of an upside for the fact of going through the Memorial Cup phase and everything else. That kid had a real interesting, setup in those last couple of months of the season. Them changing coaches before the tournament. I mean, that plays mind games on a head, and that does. And believe it or not, to me, does more for development, because that grows your inner self in a sense, of what he had to go through, and the performance that he had in that tournament was just outstanding. So yeah, I think his game is, we thought maybe 2 years ago may not be suitable. Would he have what it would take to move up to the next level? Obviously the Q did something for him. And again, he's had a decent start. Not a great start, but a decent start. Ratu, don't look at the numbers. Don't look at the numbers on him at all. What I look for him is I look for his playmaking. I look for his intangibles and what he's doing without the puck. Because that's a lot of times that's a problem that the Finns and the Swedes tend to have when they come to the North American games, what they're doing without the puck.
Wasn't that the biggest criticism of him?
Yes. No, you're absolutely right, John. It was. That was a big issue with him, and that's what I want to see in the beginning of the season so far. And it hasn't been terrible. It really hasn't. But it's a process with him, and no matter what, I think the first 30 or 40 games, both those guys have to play all situations, 17, 18, 19 minutes a game. Don't take the foot off the throttle with them. Don't mess around with them. Thompson's got to put them out there every night and put them in every situation and let them gain the experience. Everybody's saying, bring them up now. No. Absolutely not. Stop playing armchair GM and let these kids develop. That is the most important thing.
You want this again, folks? You want to go back to 95, 96?
Oh, you mean
Is it?
on right now?
Yeah, that's what's going to happen if you play the kids now.
That was a good segue, Paul. Nice.
You like that? But we're not going to cover. We're not going to do that yet. We're not going to do that yet.
No.
So, the next player I'm going to get into, is my sleeper pick. I got to watch him. Brush and I both got to watch him over at UConn. He's the size of Johnny Gaudreau, folks. I'm not comparing him to Johnny Gaudreau, but he is quick. He is a center. He would probably play wing at the NHL level, but he can pass like a centerman. He crashes the net. I'm excited to see him play at some point at the NHL. I can tell you right now, there are other teams that have been looking at him for some time. I can definitely confirm that, and that is Ruslan Iskhakov. For me, there hasn't really been anyone in Islander history that we can compare him to. Jason Blake was still a little bit bigger. Ziggy Palffy is still a little bit bigger. Like, this is probably the smallest, fastest, lethal little Islander we've ever had in history. So he's tearing it up right now in the American Hockey League. I'm not surprised by this. I think he's got 6 points in 5 games. But he's been playing against men ever since he's been drafted. Like I said, first 2 years at the University of Connecticut. Then he's been overseas playing against professionals. For me, again, gentlemen, this has more to do with conditioning than anything else. But with Iskhakov, I think, he would probably be, other than Simon Holmstrom, the most ready for an NHL playoff game, because I think he would probably have the biggest impact in the playoffs, just because of his speed alone. So, Gary, give me your thoughts on Ruslan Iskhakov.
Again, I said another name, and some of you older people in this group might know it would be Rob DeMaio. And actually, I did look up Rob DeMaio. He was 5'10". So he's an inch taller than Iskhakov, but he was 5'10", 160. So that works. And DeMaio was a center. For those of you 1994 Capital District Islanders, you would know how to find Rob DeMaio. Actually, he played for Springfield, too. He played for Springfield Indians when they won the Calder Cup in 1990. So that's another feather in my cap.
And I'm not comparing.
Yeah, I haven't got to see as much of Iskhakov as you guys have, but I've seen some tape on him, and God, he's fast. He is quick, and again, elusive, what you like. And he's 165 pounds, but he doesn't play like 165 pounds. He plays 30 pounds heavier. That's what I mean. He's not afraid to do what I call dude it up in the corners, and come away with the puck. That's what you like about him. I mean, again, we are only looking at a very small sample size at this point, but even in Russia, his skill was good. He was able to keep up with those guys. So I'm very excited to see what the next 10 or 15 games look like. Again, people are saying bottom 6 roll. I don't know. If he keeps up with this pace, maybe something good could happen, but I'm not going to get all the eggs in one basket right now with him. I'm going to be a little bit on the conservative side and say, in the same boat as Ratu and Dufour. Get the minutes, get the experience, get the game situations in, and get the system down.
And I'm going to bring this up right now. And David Cutler does bring up, where'd he go? Here he is. He does bring this up. All these guys sound like superstars. Odd that we have the 26th best rated prospect pool in the 32-team league. That's true. But these guys are not supposed to be doing top line minutes. I'm not expecting Simon Holmstrom to be a top 6 forward yet. He doesn't have to be. I'm not expecting Iskhakov to be at all.
No.
All these guys.
I gave him one.
Yeah. They're middle of the pack here, guys. I'm not going to lie to you. They're middle of the pack, but they're depth players that have enough talent that can help this team in the playoffs. That's all they were. That's where they are. And granted, the Islanders have not drafted since, Simon Holmes from in 2019 from the first round. But look at Aatu Ratu. Aatu Ratu was supposed to be a minimum top 10 pick, and he fell all the way down. Look what he's doing. This could be quality over quantity. But again, if you're expecting top 6, top 3, no, we don't have it. But these are the depth players that can help the Islanders possibly get through a round or two if this season goes well, which we'll get into later on in water cooler talk. So, how is Ishkakov defensively? He's good. He's good. Again, University of Connecticut, they play that two-way game as well. The speed's top notch. The speed is NHL caliber. We'll go right there. Yeah. So, don't worry about that. He'll play like the rest of the kids. They'll play in all situations and basically get them ready for playoff hockey, whether it's in Bridgeport or whether it's on Long Island. Let's see. No, we don't have big-time prospects. We know that. But there'll be enough to get you through the season and then some. So, Brush may come back. We'll see what happens. I know he's very high on Ishkakov as well, but Brush is very much tempering expectations as he should. He's very much, we're only 5-6 games into the season. Let's see how everything, plays out. We don't know what so Brush is correct. Temper all expectations, but there is a theme here where the Islanders may not have to go, they could grab a sexy pick, a sexy player at the trade deadline. Maybe some of these guys would be part of the trade package, or sometimes it's better to just work from within and see what you have, like a Trent Hunter. That's why I'm trying to give fans here two options here for the season. Going for the sexy pick, a Trent Hunter impact like we've seen back in 2002, maybe a combination of both. We'll see what happens. It's still too early in the season. Which radio station carries Bridgeport games? AHL Live. AHL Live should have all the games all the time. Yep. Mix app also has all the Bridgeport games. So that's it on the Bridgeport front. Gary, out of all the players so far that we've talked about, hold on for 1 minute. Out of all the players that we've talked about, who do you think could be your Trent Hunter impact player?
Wow.
It's early, I know, but have fun with it.
It's early. You're right. It is early. But I'm gonna stick with Bolduc. I really do. I'm just more impressed with every game I see him play. I really like his physicality, and I think he's another fearless guy. And again, you can't not enjoy watching a big guy take a big slap shot from the point. We got Pulak, we got Noah that has great shots, but this kid he's got a bullet, and he's physical. He's going to be, to me, he's another Romanov that's bigger, frankly. And I like his development, and I think I really thought that year being out, and near year being out with the injuries, I thought that was going to stunt them this year, but it's not stunting them at all. As a matter of fact, I think it's even helped. So he's the guy that's really on my radar right now.
Oh, good question here by Mark. What struggle? Last year, what do you attribute that to? The struggle? Basically, it was a full schedule.
Yeah.
Full schedule. He wasn't used to it. Same thing with Wahlstrom. Wahlstrom even said he wasn't used to an 82-game schedule. A lot of these kids, they didn't go through a full professional schedule. Yeah.
You play 60 games in the queue, but And again,
You're
it's
local.
also weekends, and it's like it is, but it's a different atmosphere. It's a different mindset in junior hockey as opposed to the professional game. Because not only are you worrying about your play, your team, and everything else, but as a professional, your first year pro, you got to think of all the other things, your living expenses, taking care of the bills and whatever, anything else you have to do in your personal life. Your junior life, you're at a billeted family, everything's taken care of. You're in a comfort zone. But when you're a pro, your first time, there's a lot of adjustments. Again, we don't think about it as fans, but believe you me, the pressures off the ice for a first year pro are sometimes even more prevalent than being on the ice.
So, John, after all the players we've mentioned, who's your Trent Hunter pick?
Unmute him.
Oh, hold on. There you go.
Sorry, we have unmuted.
I would have to say probably Simon Holmstrom. That's who I would have to go with. I think only because of the threadbare offense. If we get any injuries, I think that's really where the potential is going to be, as far as having somebody come along and stepping in at the right moment.
So yeah,
And
no,
figure,
perfect.
and just to add on to it, when you figure now that you've lost Kiefer Bellows, if something happened, if somehow an injury happened, I mean, you do have guys, scratched with Ross Johnston and
Soshnikov.
then Soshnikov. You have guys there, but you're going to want to bring somebody up. I mean, the question to you, Paul, if you're the GM, you're Chris Lamoriello is so today. If something happened tomorrow and you had to bring somebody up, is Simon Holmstrom your first call?
I'm gonna go yes. Yeah, he had a great training camp. Lane Lambert's very well aware of Simon Holmstrom. I think he would be the first choice. He's earned it. He's especially after having the season he had at the end of last year. He's definitely earned a spot. And the way things are going, Samuel Bolduc has also earned a spot. But I think he's going to get his towards the middle of the year if the opportunity arises.
Right, because you don't know what the revolving circus between Aho and Salo at this point. I would think, and have they done it yet, Paul? Have they announced that Salo's going to go back up? No, so nothing's been announced yet.
No, nothing's been announced, and that's been the interesting part for me, because the Islanders are going to have close to $4 million in cap space, and you're not bringing up Robin Salo against Carolina. Something's going on, folks. Oh, you guys are going to hate me for this one.
Paul's got that crystal ball going.
What is Holmstrom's playing style comparable to? I'm going to go Josh Bailey with better skating, especially on the edges. If Josh Bailey had Simon Holmstrom's speed and edge work, Josh Bailey, no one would be complaining about Josh Bailey at the moment.
And don't start now. That was from Claire, by the way, boys and girls.
Oh, I'm sure it was. So, alrighty, folks, we're going to move on here. In the comment section, give me who you think your Trent Hunter impact player could be this year. Could it be Simon Holmstrom? Could it be Samuel Bolduc? Could it be Chris Terry? Could it be Arnaud Durando, William Dufour, Atu Ratu, Parker Wotherspoon? Who do you guys think that you would like to see come up and make an impact in the playoffs with the Islanders on Long Island? So we'll let those comments fly. And we're going to go into water cooler talk. And I'm going to bring this up. Uh-oh. Yeah. One moment. Ta-da!
John, it's the fisherman logo.
Oh yeah, sorry, John. It's the fisherman logo.
Oh boy.
The redone fisherman logo.
Yes, the redone fisherman logo. Gary, give me your thoughts, and then I'll tell you. And John, I'll go Gary, John, and then myself.
Well, people don't know. In 1996, I could not get. I was in the large Omar the tent maker size, and I couldn't find a jersey from that would fit me, and I have no problems with people's opinion about the jersey. Okay. It's a part of our history. If you like it, fine. If you don't, that's fine too. But people are going to embrace it. A lot of young kids are embracing it. A lot of young kids are not embracing it. That's fine. I bought it in 1996. Number one, because the guy I put on the back of the jersey, of course, was Wendell Clark, one of my favorite players of all time. He's in my top 10 of all time.
Fair.
And yep. And take away the logo. I love the uniform. I love the color match. I like the dark blue. I like the wavy things. It was, again, that's my personal opinion. If you don't like it, that's fine. You're more than happy to disagree with me, and I'll leave it at that. But I'm glad they brought it back. Even though it's 6 games, it's okay. It's okay. I think it's different. I like the differences of it this year. I like the diagonal weight, thing on the back. It looks good. The numbers are okay. Everybody's got different. Believe me, if you've looked at all 32 jerseys, ours is not on the bottom of ugly. I'm sorry.
No,
St.
it's
Louis
not.
is pathetic. Oh, there are a couple of them. There are a couple of them that I seriously hurled. Okay, so it is what it is. I'm not thrilled with our 3rd jersey. I don't like that one at all. So, it's judgment. It's everyone's opinion, and everyone's entitled, and I respect it. But and let's put it this way: I usually bring out my fisherman jersey when I'm going to games and the team is playing bad and they don't deserve my regular colors. So I put the fisherman jersey on. I think the number is correct, but I think in the last 3 years, my record at the Coliseum wearing my 3rd jersey is like 14, 5-2 or something like that. It's good,
Yeah.
which tells people I should wear it more often, but I know I'll really piss people off if I do. So so when they win, I'll take it back. I'll put it away. So, but when the 6 games that they wear it, I'll be wearing mine.
Okay, so before I bring in John here, this question needs to be addressed. How about an orange jersey with a lighthouse on it? That would have been better. I'm going to let you guys in on a little secret. Some of you probably know already. Well, first off, that's my orange one over there. I love that one. That's the classic 02 one. But the jersey behind me, way back there, the one that Gary does not like. Okay, for those of you who do not know, had the Islanders stayed in Brooklyn, that was your primary jersey. Ta-da! That was going to be your primary jersey, boys and girls, right back there. Hold on.
It's not a terrible jersey. The reason I don't like it is the numbers. I can't figure them out. I mean, I know the guy, so I know who it is, but it's hard to pick out the numbers, the way the font is designed. That's the problem. If they had a regular, simple font, orange font number, I'd be okay with it. But it's just at games, it's just really hard to read. That's all.
So, John, give me your thoughts. The Fishermen coming back for 6 games.
I don't have any problem with it at all. I remember being a season ticket holder when they first came out, and I remember the controversy, and I remember it was kind of that no middle ground, that people either hated it or people loved it. And my brother Steven proudly has one. So I don't have a problem with that. I really don't. It is what it is. I mean, it's a part of our history, regardless as an Islander fan, whether you want to embrace it, like it, hate it, whatever. But it is a part of the history of the team. And I'm kind of, I guess it's interesting to me that the younger Islander fans who really didn't experience that think it's cool. You know, I kind of find that kind of entertaining, amusing, whatever you want to call it. Because I know some Islander fans, like my nephews, who, you know, they have no idea of all that controversy back in the middle 90s. So they like it. So I don't have a problem.
I think this is a wonderful marketing idea by the Islanders. And it's not even geared to the people, to the fans who lived through it. It's not.
No, it's not.
You know, this is going to be this is perfect, because the younger fans, not only do they like this logo. I'm going to meet you here, Gary, real quick. Not only do the younger fans like this logo, the older fans hate it. So it's just another reason for the younger fans to buy it. Like, good press, bad press, it's still press. It's still free advertisement, and everyone's falling for it, and they're all gonna buy it, whoever wants to buy it. I think it is absolutely phenomenal what the Islanders are doing. Yes, it's the 50-year anniversary. You have to take the good with the bad at this point. But what I think the Islanders are doing this year with the logo is what they should have done back in 95, back in 96, when the Fisherman logo first came out. Try out the logo 5-6 games during the season, see how it plays out. Don't replace something that a lot of fans were adorned to because of what that logo represented, which was a dynasty, growing up with that. Had the Islanders carefully and tastefully done that logo a couple of times over the years, I think it probably would have been more accepted, even with the losing back then. Okay. The Islanders now are making amends for their past mistakes. And I don't want to get too far into the history here. We all have it. We'll all have a few drinks and we can go over the logo, whatever. But this is kind of like when these games are being played and the logo is on, bring your sage, get everything out of your system. I don't want to say don't walk away from your past, but let this go. Let it go. The Islanders are doing it right this time. It's only 6 games. If you have PTSD over it, I don't blame you. But you have to let the younger fans know what happened, because it really wasn't a great time. And for me, the New Jersey doesn't signify what we went through way back when. It doesn't. That original Fisherman, those original jerseys, it's more of a what could have been instead of what actually happened. And I'll do that. I will do another show for you guys, and I'll bring some of these guys, some of the fans who lived through it. We'll have a show on that. We'll do it. That's fine. For me, it's great advertising. The Islanders are going to sell these jerseys left and right. And it doesn't matter whether you hate the jersey or you love the jersey. You're still talking about the jersey. So it's going to sell. For me, it's a great marketing ploy. You know, people wanted the lighthouse. Okay, I haven't seen a lighthouse. Now you show up. People want the lighthouse. They can still do the lighthouse, but here's the problem. The lighthouse is not New York. Okay? It's not New York. You didn't see the shirt a few years ago in the playoffs. Defend Long Island. It said defend New York. You're in Queens now. Borderline Long Island, Queens, you're right there. Belmont. You're talking about New York. You're not Long Island anymore. Sorry, guys. The lighthouse doesn't represent the New York Islanders anymore. It's a part of it, but it's not the whole thing. Just like the Fisherman logo originally wasn't all Long Island. It wasn't all New York. It was just Long Island. They messed that up. Now it's time to fix things. Fix the history. Gently bring in new jerseys from time to time, but keep the logo the way it is. Yeah, I know. Billy Joel is Long Island, but Billy Joel's a Ranger fan. I hate to break it to you guys. Billy Joel's a Ranger fan. I don't think you guys know that. Billy Joel's a Ranger fan.
Actually, I didn't know that.
Billy Joel's a Rangers fan.
Yeah.
Actually, Paul, you remember when they made the announcement for Belmont and you were there with us at Belmont Park?
Yes.
When Billy Joel was wearing – Billy Joel had to put on that Islander jersey, and you could see the look on his face. That's like – it was when he's like,
what am I
when
doing
he's
here?
eating something that's disgusting and going, ew. He had that look on his face. I'm telling you, you knew he wasn't an Islander fan.
No,
that'd be like
said it at
if
Belmont.
Boomer Esiason put on an Islander jersey.
Yeah, Billy Joel's a Ranger fan. We found that out at Belmont. So, Brush, real quick. Give me your thoughts on the Fisherman jersey. Is it a good idea to bring it back for 50 years? What do you think of the jersey?
I like the jersey. The match, the color and the match on the jersey matches perfectly. I don't have an issue with the jersey. I totally agree with you with the lighthouse thing. I know a lot of Islander fans wanted the lighthouse and all that stuff. Overall, it's a nice jersey. Would I consider buying it? Yeah, why not? Add it to my collection. I would, if they are going to use it this year, I would have to imagine they'll use it in the near future. But it's all about money.
Yeah.
It's all about money.
Yeah, and they're going to make a lot of it. They're seriously going to make a lot of it. So, I love all the comments in here. Get rid of the jersey. It's horrible time. Some people like it. Robin, great segue. Potvin socks. I mean, from what I was told, Gary was just telling me that was all Dennis's idea. I can't even begin to praise that man for what he did. That should have been done sooner. Oh, I love that.
I do too.
So kudos to him. Let's see. Any other questions, comments, concerns? It's water cooler talk, guys. Questions, comments, concerns. Future moves, rumors, whatever you guys have heard. Let's talk about it real quick. We got about 6-7 more minutes to go. I know you guys are very. Oh, all right. For whatever reason, Matt needs another 30 seconds of time here. Okay, there you go, Matt. Why is Sebastian Aho playing over Robin Salo? In all honesty, I think it was a cap move. Robin Salo at this point was waiver eligible. He was for this year. He still is. The longer that Robin Salo is down, the more cap is occurred. And I think that's what's going to go. I think that's what's going to happen. I think Lou's actually building up that cap space because I think he's down for another sexy pick at some point. A sexy draft pick, not a draft pick, a trade, a sexy trade. I think that's going to happen. What did Lou see in Sashnikov over Bellows? Speed, penalty killing, bottom line minutes. He
handing
already
too.
had,
Puck
yeah, he
handling
already
too.
had, yeah, he had all that before Bellows even showed up this year. He's already had enough experience, and to be honest with you, he just needed a shot as well. But for right now, he's the 13th or 12th forward, wherever they're at this point. Sashnikov was just more NHL ready than Bellows. Go ahead, Gary.
No, I'm just agreeing with you. Again, I know there was a couple of glaring mistakes that Sashnikov has made, especially that one with the Lightning goal with 0.1 left in the period. But again, his experience and his age, whether it's both NHL and KHL experience, is I guess what the factor that has him up here and Bellows not. Bellows has had every opportunity to make his statement. Yes, as Paul alluded to earlier, COVID is a main reason why a lot of kids in that age level are not getting the the high praise or the mark or doing what they can in the NHL because of what happened. And he's a victim of it. But you know what? He's had every opportunity. Every time he's come out there, yes, he's not playing. He's only playing 9 minutes because he's not taking advantage of the situations. He's been out there, and there's times that I'm sorry, I can't skate that well, but I think I can do a little bit better. He just looked lost out there. Wallstrom looked lost at times out there, and Paul and I, anybody listening to the show over the past year, Paul and I have had our agreements in the fact that somebody should be smacking Wallstrom in the side of the head and tell him to get going. I think he's finally getting it now. He's finally starting to realize, and you read the comments from Barzy last night and Lane Lambert, you could see that maybe Wallstrom's turning that corner. Bellows didn't turn the corner. And that's the reason why he's not here. Bottom line. And I know a lot of people aren't going to like that move, and they probably think it's a stupid move. But you know what? He didn't prove it. He had every opportunity to prove his case to the coaching staff and management, and he just did not do it. Period.
Is Bode Wilde done with the organization? That's a great question, Mark. I'm going to say no for now. Brush, you and I have been watching him from a distance, even overseas. He's had a lot of injuries lately. He could also be another victim of COVID as well, not getting in enough games. Bode Wilde's been one big mess. Stick to the medical stuff and stick the political stuff to the side here for a moment. This guy just has not had a lot of games. Due to injuries.
No, I think we have to give him a full year with Atlanta because he's playing for Atlanta Gladiators, which is in the ECHL. 5 games, no points, -4 in the plus minus. Give him a full year and see what we got. One other quick thing here that I just want to touch up on with the whole thing with Bellows, and I'm sure you guys will agree with me, the consistency is the problem. That's the big issue that we have with Bellows. He'll have one good game, and then he'll have a bad game. We need to see
no game.
Right.
Yeah. And if he goes down the Bridgeport, what else can he prove? It's just
that he can win a deep playoff run with Bridgeport.
I'd be in heaven. Yes, I'd be heaven. Any way you name it, I would love that. But he's going down the Bridgeport. What more can he do? He's had his chance, like Gary said. The inconsistency is the problem.
All right, so let's segue that with Bode Wilde now. Bode Wilde's now on his 4th team in 4 years. Like, he's not playing like Mike Sillinger for those old farts out there, where Mike Sillinger used to basically go to every team, average 15 to 22 goals a year, tons of assists, and still make a contract. But, Bode Wilde's not doing that. There's no consistency with Bode Wilde.
No, as you said, injury is a big thing.
In Atlanta, and we'll see what we got with him.
Yeah. Gary, go ahead.
Gary, go ahead.
No, I'm just agreeing with saying injuries that have just unfortunately killed him, and it takes that much more to be able to step away from that and try to develop your career. But he just hasn't been able to get that car into gear to get going, and it's unfortunate. It's a shame.
How old is he? Do you guys know how old he is? Just out of curiosity.
22? No, he's older than that
22
now.
or
He's got to be
23.
23? Yeah.
23, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, 23.
Yeah, he
But
could
again,
be a victim.
he's somewhere between Reddick Martinek and Calvin DeHaan, injury-wise.
Yeah.
Thanks, Randy. 23.
I like this one.
Yeah, that's a
He's
great
got all
one.
the tools. That's perfect. That's perfect. And in all honesty, again, let's reverse it. Let's put politics. Let's say he gets vaccinated. I'm still going to say there's a 70% shot he's in Worcester this year. East Coast Hockey League. The kid has not done enough because of injuries to play in Bridgeport.
Agree.
So, any other questions, comments, concerns? So, listen, next week, we're going to go over the 10 games that the Islanders have played, and we're going to go over the rest of the Eastern Conference. This is something that I've been doing now for the last couple of seasons. It's a fun little stat. Not to worry you guys, but that's what this show's for. After the 10-game mark, teams who have scored 8 points or less in the first 10 games have missed the playoffs in the Eastern Conference for at least the last 5 years. Okay, we're going to find out if the Islanders are one of those teams because they are kind of close. We are going to go over the Western Conference. And again, for me personally, I'm giving the Islanders roughly 40 games. I'm going to give them 40 games. We're going to see where this brutal schedule is going to take them through 2022 because I think they're going to come right back in 2023. But it's a fun little segment that we have. It's fun to eliminate teams 10 games in. Some of them are no-brainers. Hello, Vancouver. Hello, Arizona. So we'll see what happens, but that'll be next week's show. But if you guys want me to do a show on the Fisherman logo, on what happened in 95, it's not going to be a huge counseling session, but what we can do is shut up, Gary. I'm certified to do it. I'm certified to do it. Shut up. If you guys want us to go over the logo, why it was created, I can bring Nick Hirschon on. I can bring a couple of other guys.
Yes, Nick's a great expert.
We can go over it. And we can maybe give an understanding to the younger fans what happened. Because it's not just the team. It goes much more than just the team itself and the players.
Also, actually, as an extra add-on to this, to a lot of the young fans, if you get an opportunity, try to find the 30 for 30 episode on Spano. And it deals with the logo there, too. For those young people that don't really understand or appreciate the Islander history, that's a great documentary that was made on the team and on the whole situation. And again, I was in my early 30s. I lived through that, and I know a lot of people that are writing on the chat did as well. And it was rough, like I said, I made my comments about the jersey and stuff, but those times were tough as an Islander fan. I mean, I don't wish that on anybody, what people went through. It really sucked. But But yeah, definitely check that out if you can get Nick Hirshon's book. About
Yeah, that's a great book.
It's a great book, great reading, and Alan Hans too. Also would be another good one to check out.
And what we'll do is, we'll see if we can get Nick and Alan on. We'll see if we can get them on the show. We'll see if we can talk to Peter Body and see if they can, if they're willing to come on to the show. And we'll talk fish sticks. We'll see what we can do. Give us a little bit of time. Go ahead, Gary.
And I will promise I'll bring out the Wendell Clark jersey for that. That's for sure.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, Brush, I want to thank you for coming on, even so briefly. Where can people follow you?
Drive for Five Facebook group.
And anywhere else, Facebook? Where are you on Twitter?
It's the Drive for Five. I believe it's the Drive for 5-4.
1.
I think that's the name of the. Yeah, is it 1? I don't
Drive for
remember.
5-1.
I don't know.
I know that. I remembered it for you. John, where can they find you?
At Hockey Blindside on Twitter.
And Gary, where can they find you?
It's at IslesMet63. And I just want to say thank you for Paul to setting this up. And as always, he is, I call myself the emeritus of this site, but Paul runs this job, this whole setup really, really great. He does a great job. As much as I like to rip on him, but he's all right in my book.
And Brush, you and I are going to go to several Bridgeport games, a couple of Worcester games, and before fishing season's over, I'm going to teach you how to fish.
Oh yeah, right. You better buckle up. Get ready for the winter time.
So, all right, everybody, thank you.
And then he's going to come down along. Actually, then he's going to come down to Long Island. I'm going to teach him how to bowl.
Oh, that's wrong. And that's how you mute Gary Harding, everybody. All right, thank you for thank you for coming on, guys. We'll be back next week at the 10-game mark of the NHL. Be sure to follow. Hold on here before I screw this up. Make sure you follow Isles Talk on Facebook, at Isles Talk on Twitter, and don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining us, everyone. It's been a great night. And again, if you really want to talk about fish sticks, we'll prep something up for you. But next week, we're going to come to the Islanders at the 10-game mark. So thanks for everyone for coming, and let's go Islanders, and we'll see you next week.